Hey, everybody, it's Cheri Dotterer. Welcome to The Writing Glitch. I am here today with Cindy Frederick-Fulton. She is an occupational therapy assistant and hippo practitioner. She owns a self-contained farm. I believe it's self-contained from what I have gathered from her in the past. But I'd like her to let us know a little bit more about herself. Cindy, welcome to The Writing Glitch.
Thank you. Thank you, Cheri, for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
What's behind you?
This is one of my pieces of master artwork. And when it was going through a rough time in my life, and this wall was empty, and I said it needs to have something better. And that's what I came up with.
Hmm?
Joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control.
What are they?
And they are virtues to live by.
Yeah,
And
they
they
are
are also
the
fruits
fruits of
of
the
the spirit.
spirit from
Yes.
Galatians 5:22.
Yes.
How's that? I can pull that right out of my hat.
Oh, you're very fast.
You're wearing the hat. But anyway, now we've gotten that you talked about a moment in time in your life. Tell us a little bit more about Cindy.
The farm is coming back to life. God is breathing more life back into the whole place. I am an entrepreneur, have been almost actually all my life, I would say, because I would go looking for the job and could never find the job that I would like and was never offered a job that I would like. So I made my own. I have been a disc jockey. I was many years ago. I ran for political office when I was 26, sat in the courthouse with my mom, and I'm thinking, I said to my mom, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if I win? Of course, I did not. So that was a God thing, but it was exciting. I dabbled in real estate and then decided to go to OT school. Did that, and on my way there, I was able to visit a farm that was doing therapeutic riding. And horses have been in and out of my life my whole life. I thought that is where I want to be. How we bought the farm too was interesting, but God set it all up. I do therapeutic riding here, which is adaptive riding for folks with challenges, whatever they may be. We are just implementing hippotherapy, exciting stuff. I have a virtual course that started me in the whole realm. I do a little bit of pediatric school-based OT virtually, and I am a farmer grower. The high tunnel is now planted. Yay. Lots of yummy tomatoes and peppers and flowers and pollinator attractors, all kind of good stuff. That's a whole lot of me in a nutshell.
I love it. A little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this have brought you to a point of owning a farm with horses and hippos. I have to say it. I say the hippotherapy, and I know hippotherapy has nothing to do with hippos, but I just have to say it because how they got how they got the title for hippotherapy, I have no idea. But one thing I did ask for us to do is take us on a tour of what the farm looked like. We're going to do that in a little bit. Stick around so that you can see what a self-contained farm looks like. But in the meantime, you also mentioned that you do school-based therapy. But
Yes.
that's not how we met.
No, we met on the Pennsylvania Occupational Therapy Board moons
Yes, we
ago.
did. Yes,
Yes.
we did.
Oh, I
We
forgot to mention also that my husband does a little bit of livestock stuff. We have chickens and we sell eggs and we raise pigs, but I can't look at those pigs.
They're too cute.
I'm not a vegetarian, so you know where that's going.
Back to Pennsylvania Occupational Therapy Association. We were on the board at the same time back when my kids were infants, and you had little ones and running around at the same time. And we both went our own different ways because we live in different ends of the state. We both ended up going back and merging into school-based therapy, ran into one another again. How does the school-based therapy link to the farm? Because people are wondering, why is she having Cindy, who's a farmer, on the writing glitch? How do they all mingle together?
I'm glad you asked that because I think a lot of people are thinking that. 90% of my job that is school based is motivation. These kids need motivated first to pick up a pencil. I tried everything I could think of, and it was fight and argue. And I put one of the horse's noses into my laptop, and voila, they wrote about the horses. Motivation, yes, is key to start. We've got to start with wanting to do it. And I love drawing with the kids. I love them drawing shapes that surround the horses and even growing. Along with that, then, is the motivation and the passionate learning that occurs with horses. Yes, love it. Once they're learning about the horses in our virtual class, they're writing about it. We have a workbook we developed. The kids get that, along with 6 weeks that they meet us virtually, live, interactive in the barn with horses right up close and personal with the computer. And so our horses have gone virtual and we have a bigger reach. So we can reach kids in Philadelphia. Oh gosh, we can reach kids in other states. Then they have little jobs to do in the workbook as they're learning. And they also get a fine motor box. Along with the workbook and the virtual classes, they're getting things like a horse model, they're getting a book, they're getting a puzzle, they're getting paints, and they absolutely love it. We do that, and then we are also introducing a farm virtual course, and that's 6 weeks. It starts June 26th, and that is learning about the farm that where the horses live. We also did a study with St. Francis. I don't know the results yet of the
Oh,
horse. Yes.
that's St. Francis University out of Altoona area of Pennsylvania, and they have an occupational therapy doctorate program. Is that who you did the study with, or did you do it with a different
Yes.
department?
Yes. The OT department at St. Francis. Yes.
Okay, keep going.
We got done with that. We also had a writing contest, which was fabulous. I learned in January that there's National Handwriting Day. So we did a contest. I was like, oh my gosh, I only have one kiddo signed up. What am I going to do? I planned on giving her all of the prizes. She's from out east. Anyway, last minute, there were submissions coming in right up until 2 minutes before the deadline. We had 7 kids sign up. And so we got to, of course, we did honorable mentions and then we had some winners. So just encouraging the kids to really enjoy writing, to at least participate. And they did. That's where I have been and what I've been doing. Oh, and we have a corporate sponsor. This is one of them. Succeed.
What is Succeed?
Succeed is Freedom Health. They're horse industry folks. They developed a product called Succeed for gut health for horses. That's important.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not just important for the horses, it's also important for us
Yes.
to have positive gut health as well. And
Which
that
leads to
emotional-
good brain health.
which leads to
Motivation. And motivation.
it all is this big cycle, doesn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
You're telling us all about this program that you have. And there is another episode starting here over the summer. What
Yes.
about in the fall? Is there something starting in the fall?
Yes. It's the Horsemanship Writing Club will be on the move again. The first session, we gear it towards school. And the first 6 weeks is about printing, actually just motivation. The second 6 weeks is printing. The third week is cursive writing, encouraging those things. I like to keep it fun, so I don't demand that they do it, but they have the opportunity and the encouragement to do it.
Do you have the dates for the fall?
Not yet, but we'll be securing those soon.
You have this program called the Horsemanship Writing, not
Yes.
writing, but writing program. How does it help students with the writing challenges? You have this part where they're watching horses on the internet. You have a part that is helping them with print and cursive. How is this all mingling How are you seeing changes in student writing through this program?
Yes, we are. Along the way, of course, I'm definitely a coach. Along the way, I suggest things too, like when they're writing and we want them to submit their work to us. We also have a Facebook page where the kids can share all the things that they've done. I will say sizing, letter sizing. Look at the size of this horse. Look how big Possum is. Look how small Travis is. And how are they walking? Where would you put your letters on the line? All of those things are coming into play, and it's through more coaching and encouraging curriculum.
Got it. Is this a curriculum?
It is because what we've developed, our lessons our first one is horse safety. We have 6 lessons. One is safety. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but each lesson is different, and there are 18 topics. There are 18 different lessons
18 topics in how many weeks?
in 18 weeks. We do the first 6 weeks, and then it's usually a break or 2, and they don't have to sign up for all 3. They can do 1 if they choose, or they can also jump in on, say, the second one or the third one. It really is better to do at least the first one. That way you get more of the horse things, and it goes a little bit in order, except we do have continuity.
What you're saying is that there's 6 weeks and then a little bit of a break, 6 weeks, a little bit of a break, 6 weeks, and then that's the end of the program. You have it set up that they join for 6-week stints and then they can continue if they want for the other 2 sessions, but they don't have to.
Correct.
What if they miss session 1 and they only find out about you during session 2?
They can absolutely jump in either 1, 2, or 3. I like
Okay.
to recommend 1 because that way they get to know us and they start to build that relationship early on. There's some more advanced lessons that happen about the horses in sessions 2 and 3. It's very adaptable. This is also about building the relationship with the kids, having teamwork within their own peer group.
I love those words, relationship and teamwork. For those of you who are listening to the podcast and not seeing it, I'm writing things on the board today. I'm also standing so that I have more mobility. I drew a horse on the whiteboard as well as created a puzzle with that horse. That's part of this conversation and what Cindy has been alluding to throughout the conversation that you may be going, what is she talking about there? Hopefully that answers some of that question, but I like this relationship. Let's pause on that just a moment. And what does it mean to the students as they're building relationship? Are they seeing the same students the whole 6 sessions? Do they have kids coming and going, or what happens?
We had 4 students follow all 3 sessions. Actually, 2 sessions or 2 kiddos started the very first session. Then 2 more were added, and they did the third or second and third sessions. In that, we had a student who was total care. He communicates with facial expressions and eye gaze. He loves the horses. But what I saw in that whole connection was one of our other students, both of the boys, there were 2 boys and 2 girls. And the 2 boys were 12 and the 2 girls were 8. So it was interesting how that all worked out. But each student had a lot going on individually, aside from the handwriting. So one of our students was total care. Another student challenges with self-esteem. Another student didn't like her voice. So she didn't want to use her voice to talk and answer questions and participate. Another student was very shy. By the end, the young boy with the self-esteem issues actually came out of his shell, was being more of a leader, and took everybody under his wings, including the student who communicated only with his eyes and his facial expressions, and helped to pull them all together. Amazing stuff happened with those 4 kids. It ended up being way more than the handwriting, way more.
Love it. Before we go and see what's outside,
Yes.
I have one more question.
Okay,
ahead.
and I'm going to say real quick, and that we did games and puzzles, so they had to build that teamwork together.
You did virtual team building puzzles.
and games. It was so much fun. The last 15 minutes of each session was spent on a game or something that came off the top of my head.
It was created by you and not something that you found on the internet. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Let's bring this home. This podcast is about writing challenges. It's called the writing glitch being dysgraphia. Can you describe dysgraphia in your own words?
Oh, I feel like I have seen dysgraphia on many different levels. I have seen it where it's almost like hieroglyphics. And then I have seen it even be mild, like letter sizing and everything is 2 millimeters tall. So I've seen that and everything in between. I have seen all of that. Some students I have had, when I point things out, actually will increase letter sizing. Of course, I see reversals all the time, and line orientation is a big issue too. But as I make them aware of that, they come in to the horses, and the horses are our common ground. It just pulls all together naturally. I've seen everything from minor writing issues all the way to definitely not readable at all.
You have described dysgraphia in very unique terms. You've described it, what it looks like on paper, but you've also described it from the world's point of view and like microscopic and too big. So, too big, too small, too fat, too thin. Trying to help the kids see those differences using a device called a horse is amazing. Switch over to your Zoom on your phone and let's take that tour of the farm.
Awesome, awesome.
While Cindy is getting ready to head down to the farm part of her home, let's talk a little bit about what you think dysgraphia is. Do me a favor and write in the comments, what do you see dysgraphia to be? What are the struggles that you're finding about it? Go ahead, Cindy. Take us on that tour.
Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna get us down my stairs and out my door.
I must tell people that I have been to Cindy's house. I have a bigger vision as to what's going on around her because I have been there. Cindy and I have been friends for several years, and it has been amazing watching her grow and watching this farm find its new passion.
I'm going to change my camera.
There are those chickens. Hey guys, can you send me some eggs, guys?
We have several varieties.
Varieties of chicken?
Yeah, different breeds. We have Rhode Island Red, and this little girl that is white. She's molting, I think. That's why we're seeing some feathers off of her back. But she is actually a silver lace Wyandotte. We have some sustainability things. We are going to be building more pasture for them so that they stay off of the sacrifice area and let it rest a little bit and go into the area behind them. And of course, the coop. Okay, we shall peek in on the pigs.
Those cute pigs?
Yes.
So, oh my gosh, they are cute. When they're that size, they're adorable.
Yes, they're upset though. So they get really, they like my husband because they don't see me. And there's good reason for that. Let me introduce you to the horses. They are outside right now in the paddock areas.
Panic? Did you say panic?
Paddock. Paddock. Paddock.
Paddock. Okay.
Horse people say paddock.
I thought you said panic, and I'm like, why are they panicking?
Might have been a panic episode. Anyway, you can see Miss Trixie.
So they're in that small area, and that's what you mean by paddock? Is that small
Yeah.
area, not the big pasture?
These are just sacrificed areas. What I mean by sacrifice is dirt because of their many hoof prints. So that is Gunner. I don't know if you can see him.
I see two horses down that way.
Okay, so that's Gunner. He's a buckskin. He belongs to my daughter. The other horse walking toward us belongs to my other daughter. That's Bailey. And this girl is Trixie, who
Hi,
has been in
Trixie.
our program for a long time.
Hi, Trixie.
And the others, I think, are in the woods right now, staying away from the bugs. Oh, there's Belle.
Oh, I see him. I see him.
Who's Belle?
Yep.
Yeah, that's Belle.
How
Don't
many
we have a
horses do you?
beautiful? There are
But
8 here currently.
there are 8 there, and you own them all.
Yeah, my daughters each have 1, but we own the other 6.
You're not boarding any horses.
No,
All of these horses are part of your therapeutic riding program.
in one way or another, yes. These are the course stalls. This is our feed room where we keep grain.
Do you ever find that the horses help themselves to their grain?
That is exactly why it's in big freezers, and we have this little bit of a deterrent.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So Travis, who you didn't see, is I'm a previous little bugger who would do that. This is our tack room. Tack room is where we keep saddles, bridles, all of that. And we are in desperate need of cleaning. So we have some volunteers going to be helping with that. This is Possum. Hi, Possum.
Hi, Possum.
You get up close and personal. Kids love this when they stick their noses into the computer or into the screen. What you're looking at in here is our indoor arena. And this is our ramp that we use to have folks get on the horses, kids get on the horses. Oh, I have oh boy. Hi. So she's hanging out with me, but then we also have another visitor. Hi, Willie.
Hey, how are you? You're the one that scared me when I came to the house.
Yes, he looks scary. That is the barn. Now I'm going to take you to the Frederick house.
The Frederick house?
We have named the high tunnel the Frederick house.
What's a high tunnel?
It's an unheated greenhouse.
Unheated greenhouse.
This is one of our old tractors. This is Hank.
Hi, Hank. Thank you for not
Yeah.
making any noise today.
Yes, Hank with a bucket, which is much needed around here. We have a tractor class in our upcoming farm class, our farm sessions. It includes a tractor class.
Tell me more about that.
So the kids are going to learn equipment safety and how to check fluids and about the tractors. This is the front of the high tunnel. As you can see, lots of plants.
I've seen those around my area. I thought that you meant something different, but I've seen greenhouses that look like that. And you say it's not heated so that you don't have any kerosene or anything that keeps the stuff warm. If it goes below freezing, everything inside's below freezing too.
Unless I use my frost cover. I do use frost cover if I have to, but we are definitely in the heat now. There are 5 rows of slicing tomatoes and paste and sauce tomatoes. I also have 2 rows of peppers, and I have a whole row of pollinator things. I've got lavender, oregano. These are zinnias. This is tarragon, which is new to me. Parsley.
What's the
And
idea of the zinnia? Does that help draw the bees to pollinate?
yes, and here is one of my favorite, basil. Yes. We just laid the drip line today for irrigation.
So you don't have to go in there and water individual plants because you have a system that's doing that.
Yes, I had been watering by hand, and that takes so much time. So you can see the drip line.
So that's like a hose that has holes in it.
Yes, yes.
See, guys, I'm
And so
learning. I am learning as we talk.
in the world of technology right now, I think the kids, I think they get overstimulated by it. And this kind of stuff and these kind of activities bring them back down and ground them. These are my raised beds, and they were built with the idea that they would be handicap accessible, wheelchair accessible. And so we're using them also as learning, teaching kids about agriculture and where their food comes from. We have a tomato patch going in there as well. I will take you up to my outdoor. Now we are working on rebuilding some of our raised beds that have gotten damaged over the years with weather. And these will be planted this week. I have a mint bed that just got in. Of course, with Mary.
Isn't it late to be planting things?
Oh gosh, no. No. This is our outdoor where we run. Outdoor riding arena.
Okay.
And no, when you succession plant, you are planting all summer.
I thought you planted everything all at one time, and then when it comes due, you bring it in the house and you use it.
Not so much. That
You
gives you
have-
a tour.
When we talk about self-contained, you have fruits and vegetables, you have chickens, you have pigs. What other things make a self-contained farm?
So that's farmsteading, growing your food, vegetables, the meat, and building community. Building community with other like-minded folks. We're going to walk over here. I'm going to show you the front also because we have a little garden area here where we are going to put pumpkins in this year and some potatoes. Now, we might be running a bit behind on the pumpkins, but it'll work.
The pumpkins then would be coming alive and coming due around October.
Yes, and if we are too late because of weather here for trick or treat, then we shall use them to feed the pigs and ourselves.
Are you planting the round pumpkins or are you planting neck pumpkins?
We are planting round.
Round. Do they make, when you say feed yourself, do they make better food? I usually use neck pumpkins for eating, but do they do better with the round ones? I'm not sure what the difference is.
There are pie pumpkins that are awesome and they're round, but they're smaller. This is going to be a little patch of pollinator stuff and sunflowers. We do have some zinnia there already. And that is the farm.
Well, thank you for the tour. Flip back to yourself.
Oh. There I am.
There she is. Thank you very much for sharing the farm with us. Thank you for sharing the program. I never did answer this question so that people really understand. What's the difference between therapeutic writing and hippotherapy?
So therapeutic writing is adaptive writing, and hippotherapy is OT, PT, and or speech specific goals, using the horses as our tool.
There's actual therapeutic goals that are being implemented. Are you utilizing handwriting goals to do the hippotherapy, or are the goals more ADL based, functional based?
Actually, the students that we have right now will actually be building core first. We've got core strengthening and endurance first before we even can go further out in terms of fine motor.
You're working on gross motor goals
Yes.
first. How many people are helping you do that program?
We've got another OT here, and we've got probably about 3 or 4 volunteers coming in now. And we are gaining students every day in the hippotherapy arena.
How many days a week do you see them?
Right now, we have riding 3 days a week.
Congratulations. I hope that people that are watching and listening to this episode see this connection between what a horse does for the students with motivation and connects it to the writing. One thing that Cindy did not talk about is that the actual riding of the horse will stimulate the students' core enough that when they go to do writing skills, they improve just because they were sitting on the horse and the rhythm of the horse walking will improve writing skills.
Yes, absolutely, Cheri. Absolutely. There's so much more. It treats the whole person.
Thank you for being here today, Cindy. Tell us again your next session. Your summer session starts.
June 26th, and it is all about the farms. There will be one about the tractor, one about the horses, one about the pigs, one about the chickens, one about land sustainability. I don't know if I'm missing one there or not, but 6 live virtual classes. In the fall will be the Horsemanship Writing Club.
The Horsemanship Writing Club. That is the 18-week session separated into 3 groups.
If you go to my website, you can find Star Equestrians and sign up there. Or also, if you want more information about the farm, you can go to cindyfrederick-fulton.com.
I will also make sure that all of this information is in the show notes so it's easy for you to find. Thank you, Cindy, for coming on today. This has been Cheri Dotterer with The Writing Glitch. Have a blast this summer, everyone.
Hey, thank you for having us.